Hi, welcome to Baking with Jen. Today we are making sugar cookie dough and we are making the centers for truffles. Right now on the menu I have chocolate, peanut butter, caramel, orange, and strawberry. We'll see if we get to all five. Yeah, so today we'll make all of the pre-preparations for some Valentine's Day treats. And then on Thursday, we'll go through and finish them off. We'll cover them in chocolate, we'll bake off the cookies, we'll do all that. So today is just the pre-preparation. Thanks for being here. Let's go bake something. So the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and technically we're going to start on the caramel chocolate ganache stuff. So right now I just have it here on the stove. Wait a second, I can't see the camera appropriately. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So, do I have like a specific amount of sugar I'm going to be putting in here? No, I don't. Hurry up, Amazon. Anyways, so it doesn't think it's a lot of sugar. I usually just kind of coat the bottom in a bunch of sugar. And I'm going to put this on a fairly low heat. I got it on 2. So if you're making caramel with water, then you don't need to you don't need to watch it as closely. That's not what I'm trying to say, though. Shoot. Oh well. We're not making caramel with water. We're making it straight, and so let me just put it on there. There we go. You don't need to have it on a very high heat. If you put it on a low heat, it melts more evenly, and then you're able to kind of control what you get out of it a little bit better. Because the exact temperature, we'll look that up here in a minute. The temperature that you need in order to get it to like a creamy caramel. Now it's going to be a little bit more than a sauce, but less than like a chewy caramel. So let's see. Our handy dandy thermometer. Okay. So let's just say jelly syrup, fudge, softball, firmball, hardball, soft crack, hard crack. So we're going for a fudge, and this says 116 to 240. So that's the softball. Let's see. I want to try to bring it up to 220. Nope. 230 says syrup, 110 to 230. So we'll bring it up to 120 and see what that gets us. I'm not gonna actually put the candy thermometer in here yet because right now it's just sugar, dry sugar. Let's get a sugar peeler for this. Sure. Just gonna stir it around a little bit. It's not melting or doing anything yet. So this is gonna sit here and melt, and it's gonna take a little while. Okay, so while that's melting, let's go ahead and get a bowl and put our chocolate in it, because basically what we're gonna do is we're going to make this caramel, and then we're going to pour it over chocolate chips. We're going to pour it over chocolate chips to make chocolate caramel, and then let that cool, and then on Thursday we'll put it into a little ball so we can cover it and cook it and have like a chocolate caramel. So I got a little bowl here. Let's bring this over. We don't need to watch the caramel. We don't need to watch sugar melt. It's like watching paint dry. We don't need to watch paint dry. Okay. You can't see. Here's all of my supplies for us to be making our cookies and everything here in just a minute. Okay. So see, we meet again. I have no idea how much sugar I used, so we're just gonna eyeball that amount of chocolate. I just have semi-sweet like baking chips. And I'm just gonna, that looks like a good amount. Sure, why not? That covers the bowl. That's how we do things, right? Right. Okay. Phew. Chocolate caramel started. Put the chocolate to the side. And just every couple of minutes, I'm gonna go over and stir it. Like, can't leave it alone. Leave it alone. You can leave it alone if it has water in it. You actually should leave it alone. But if just sugar, you're supposed to actually almost continuously stir it. I don't have time for that, so I'm not going to do that. So, next thing we're going to start on is sugar cookie recipe. While I go get the mixer, let's show you guys the recipe we're going to be using today. Okay, let's show this window, even though it's not quite what I'm doing. So here's the sugar cookie. Round butter blondes. This isn't I just looked this recipe up. You can use any sugar cookie recipe. I just found one that looked like it had basic sugar cookie ingredients. And I'm like, let's go here. Sounds good. Now, I don't have a specific sugar cookie recipe that I use or anything like that. We just have it. All right. So, now a lot of the sugar cookie recipes I see, you say use a stand mixer, and while I do have the stand mixer, you guys have seen it. Today I'm going to use my hand mixer just because we're going to be using the mixer a lot, and it's a lot easier to clean the little bits for the hand mixer than it is to clean the bowl and everything for the stand mixer. So let me grab the hand mixer real quick, and we'll get started on the sugar cookie. I was trying to drag some of the stuff out, but I forgot everything that I needed. And so, it's okay. We'll figure this out one thing at a time. We got this. All right. So, again, mixer, plug in eaters. There we go. Alright, so now that y'all have had a chance to look at the basic sugar cookie recipe that we're using, I'm going to take it off of the screen. In just a second. Let's see. They go like, there it goes. It wasn't going in for some reason. Okay, we got those cooked in. Mixer is set. Awesome. Alright, let's take this off of here. We're going to stop sharing this so that we can actually look at what we're doing. Okay. Okay, so this recipe calls flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, sugar, plus sugar for rolling, and salted butter, room temperature for egg, vanilla, almond extract. Interesting. This is funny. I think technically you're supposed to sift all the dry ingredients together and then like cream the butter and sugar. But I'm just gonna use this one bowl, so we're gonna cream it all and then add things in together. So, mixer. Take a second and stir the sugar. I'm gonna put the sugar with it for a second. Stirring the sugar. I don't know if y'all can see this, but the sugar crystals are kind of not bigger particularly, but a little bit bigger. And it's just like as you stir it, it has a little like listening to them. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. So this is just no, like I said, we'll put this on really low. If you put it on a higher heat, it gets too hard too fast. So we're just gonna stir it every couple of minutes and it'll be fine. Okay, so for this, it calls for half a cup of unsalted butter, room temperature. Butter. I made sure to get a brand new pack, unsalted butter. We're good. 1 stick equals half a cup. So we technically don't even need to weigh this part out and just dump this in. That's a happy finish. This is a happy day. I don't even know what that's from. I just know it was a preview on one of them I used to watch as a kid all the time. I don't know. Anyway, half cup of butter. Alright, now we need 1 cup of granulated sugar. Do I have that in my notes yet? Sugar. Yes. Okay. I don't know. You read it. Here's sugar. Down 0.5, 200 grams. Bam. Let's make this easy on myself, should I? Shall I? Nope. I can figure out where I put all my ingredients. It's okay. Alright, so I have 200 grams of sugar. I'm just gonna pour it. 100, 203. Close enough? I'm good with that. Alright. I'm gonna mute this for a second while I mix this because that'll be loud. So technically at this point, the butter and sugar are mixed and you could continue on to the next step. But in order to get this the best it can be, we really need to get this like creamy, like and fluffy. So I'm gonna pick up all the sugar, not all the sugar. I'm gonna pick up some of the butter and sugar that kind of flew out of the bowl, and then we're gonna spend just a couple of minutes bringing this together.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you can tell by looking at this, but this is getting nice and creamy. But we're going to take a break for a second and come over and stir the caramel so we don't forget about it. Ooh, you see that? You see that? It's forming like a little bit of a caramel on the bottom. Just, this is where you're supposed to technically stir it constantly, consistently. Like come over and I don't do that either, but we're starting to get melted sugar. This is what we're getting. All right, so we're just trying to get the melted part off the bottom so that more of the sugar can get to the bottom and melt. Easy enough. And yes, it's fine if it looks all like dry and crumbly like this. It won't stay that way forever. So we're doing all right so far. And if it's sticking to the sides, like I got some over here sticking, that's fine. That's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. But right now, we're just kind of clearing the bottom off and stirring it around and kind of making sure that all of the sugar has room and time to melt. I don't think it's technically supposed to go like this, but this is what I do, so that's what we're doing. All right, back to the creaming show. I don't know if you could see it, but in some of the places, like in here, you can see it getting nice and creamy. Um, it'll just take a couple more minutes of creaming the sugar and butter together, and it'll keep going. You can tell this is getting nice and creamy because it's starting to stick to the walls. So we will take a spatula and we're going to just kind of scrape down the sides, scrape it all into the middle so that it can all cream a little bit easier. And then since we're taking a break from creaming for a second, let's go check on the caramel. Like you can see right here, it's like it's already, like I said, this part is gonna start going fast. It starts caramelizing a lot better. I can actually, it's starting to smell a little bit like burnt caramel, which is not what we want, but that's okay. See, it looks all sandy. It's okay. It will be okay. It will come together. Like, this is usually how my caramel looks to start with, but I usually make this caramel for my coffee, so I don't care if it's burnt or not because it's going in with a strong flavor. So, oh well. But we got that doing its thing, looking all sandy and what it's looking like. It just occurred to me to bring out some cream, and I have like part of a stick of butter here that we're not going to throw this whole part in, probably about half of that. No, we'll go ahead and throw this whole thing in. Not right now. This is just sitting off to the side right now. This, we don't put that stuff in here until this comes up to temperature, which, once it gets melted, we'll check the temperature and then we'll see about what we're going to do from there. But so far, it's melting nicely. So we'll leave it like this for a minute while we cream some more. Multitasking, we could do it, I think. Okay, let's scoop this down again. We're probably going to cream this like 2 or 3 more times just to make sure we get it as light and fluffy and creamy as we can. This is for our sugar cookies. Yes, there we go, sugar cookies. Excellent. Yep, so today on Baking with Jen, we are making sugar cookies and sugar cookie dough and truffle centers. So that's scraped down for the moment. Go stir the caramel. Ooh, all right, see, it's starting to melt a lot faster, and we're just like, I can feel the crack on top. So we're just stirring this and making sure that it's all loose and crumbly. I usually use a wooden spoon for this, but I thought maybe today if I'd try the rubber spatula and see if it works a little bit better. Not that I normally have any kind of issues with the wooden spoon, but the wooden spoon does normally, what does it do? Oh, it has like a buildup of sugar that builds up on it, but this is getting one too. I just figured that with this, it would be a little easier to get it to come off because it is silicone and it does. There we go. Now you can see me a lot better and actually see that I'm just standing here like stirring versus being everywhere. Okay. I wonder if we could get a read on this now. Now, this is one of the things. I don't make like a ton of caramel at once. This isn't very, like very deep in caramel, maybe half an inch. And so the thing with these candy thermometers and the frying and candy thermometers is that you don't want it to touch the bottom because then you're getting the heat of the pan. You want the temperature of the caramel. So I'm gonna kind of put this to the side here and see if we can get a read on this. So we're looking for, what we want is 230. That's what we want. Right now it's climbing up 175-ish. Oh, it's getting up to 200. It's climbing pretty fast too, so it's probably just about up there. Yep, 230, and it's going up fast. Okay, so I'm going to tune this down just a smidge, just to kind of, like, we're still melting sugar, and we don't need the caramel to be all that. So, we're just going to stir for the moment. This is going to be, we're taking a break from the sugar cookie dough to stir our caramel because we're right here at the last of the melting. Like, this is about to be done. So stir. But the sides aren't going in, so I think I'm gonna have to get the wooden spoon. Just trying to avoid that. But let's see if maybe the heat will help melt this off, because this is actually looking really good. And I just want this to come off the side. It doesn't seem like it's doing that really well. And see, with this kind of caramel, if the chunks fall in, it's fine because they'll just melt down. In caramel with water, you don't want any chunks in it because those cause like extra crystallization. All right, this isn't working. So I'm going to get my trusty wooden spatula. Get some of the chunks off of here and just kind of cleaning this off a little. I'm going to put that in the chocolate so that it can melt a little bit better. There we go. Just kind of use the wooden spoon to kind of get some of this off the side. Stir really fast. Stir really fast. This is starting to smell toasty, which is not what I want. So we'll see if I can save it. Stir. Oh. So it's on all the cooking shows, like, caramel is just so elusive and hard to do. And I technically think that this is an easier way to caramel than with adding water or a liquid. But I don't make caramel every day. There was a little while I was making caramel about once a week. And so that was cool. Well, I was making it for my coffee. So I'd make it once a week, once every like 10 days or so, really. But I would make about this amount of caramel, and I'd put it over, I just put it in a container, and I would just take a spoonful and like stir it into my coffee in the mornings. So that way I could have like a homemade caramel latte kind of thing. I do pour over on my coffee, so I can make it a little bit stronger than you can out of like a percolator or like a drip. Um, I try to get something that's a little bit closer to the flavor of espresso because I prefer like the lattes you can find in a store or something like that, like at Starbucks. But I don't have money to be going to Starbucks every day. And while we do have an espresso maker, I don't like to use it all the time. It needs like a super fine grind and it's just finicky to deal with sometimes. So I use my pour over and it gives me very simple, like it gives me the result I'm looking for. And so I'm happy with it. All right, stir, stir, stir. We're trying to stir out the chunks. And it smells toasty, but it smells like a wooden toasty. Okay. I'm in the middle of something. I can't go right now. Just take him the bowl, please. And put a towel on where he puked. Okay, that's fun. So it looks like we're going to take a break right after our caramel sauce. All right, let's check the temperature on this real quick. Technically, you would want to leave your thermometer in it, but I have to kind of tilt this to get it to come up. So. All right, so this is climbing up to 200. Is it 225? Oh, we're getting up to 250 really fast. This might be a harder caramel than I was wanting. That's 250, and it's still rising. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our butter and our... Okay. So that's all caramely, yummy. I'll probably try to eat that later. Be like a caramel popsicle. All right. So we're going to go ahead and throw all this lovely butter in here. Is this how much butter you're supposed to use? Probably not, but we're going to do that. I'm going to turn off the heat. And stir, 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 stir. There are technically amounts that you're supposed to use for these. Do I use them? No, I don't, because I'm just like that. All right, and you can see how it likes leaving the lines. So this is a little bit harder caramel than I thought, than I was going for. This is going to be more of like a chewy caramel, just by that texture right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a little extra cream in here and see if that helps turn it into a monster. Yeah. See the bubbling, dissolving the caramel and the cream, and this will help thin it out and make it so that it's not so chewy caramel and more of like a creamy caramel is actually what I'm really, really, really hoping for, because that's what we want. All right, but this is like, I can kind of see the chunkiness in here. This eye is probably still warm from I just had the heat on. I'm just trying to make sure all of the sticky caramel is kind of melted together. All right, now let's just take a step over for a second. I keep stirring on this, and we have our thing here. I'm just stirring the caramel. Like you see, this is a fairly thin caramel at this point. It's more of a caramel sauce because we added more cream to it. Um, so it smells nice and caramely, and I just wanted to make sure it's all mixed together, and then we're just gonna pour it in over the chocolate. And I'm gonna drop this in the sink. But then let's take the spatula, which has melted chocolate on it already, and we're just gonna, I'm left-handed, so pour the rest of the caramel in here. Now I'll probably make like a pot of coffee or like a cup of coffee and pour it into here so I can get all this lovely caramel out of here. But we'll do that later. And then for this part, we're just going to stir this together and kind of fold the chocolate. And once we're just kind of mixing this all together, the chocolate and the caramel, we're trying to get a nice ganache. This is a caramel chocolate ganache kind of thing. Flip and stir and flip and stir and flip and stir. All right. Okay. So this is all mixed. Just about. Okay. So this is about as mixed as we're going to get right now. I'm going to try to get that off the edge. You're going to get it in. But then, so I'm going to set this on the counter to cool right now. And we will put it in the fridge once it cools down a little bit. Now, I need to take a break for just a moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, and now we are back. My kids have the flu, and so they're home. Yeah, my son threw up some water, but I'll put it. It's there's not much I can do about it. I have a towel over it, absorbing everything, and I'll work on that a little bit later. Anyway, so right now, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that we planned, we have the caramel. The chocolate caramel syrup is done. And now we're just working on our sugar cookie dough. Um, I am still creaming the dough, so I'm gonna mute it for a minute while we cream the sugar and butter a little bit more. All right, that's all creamed together. Let's just kind of mix that down. So we want light and fluffy, and if you spend a little bit longer time creaming this, it would get lighter and fluffier, and that does change the texture of the dough in the end. But this is looking great for the moment. So we have that. Let's see. On the recipe, 1 large egg, 1 tablespoon vanilla, all right, so large egg, large egg, and the bowl. And last is a tablespoon of vanilla extract. So a bunch of vanilla. All right, so we have the vanilla, we have the egg, and then the last part is almond extract. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to just kind of fold this a little bit. I'm really trying to see if I can get it to come off the spatula because it's scraping off the spatula so much. If I could just get everything to just not stick to it, that would be great. Just it holds on to batter and just very frustrating for me. I want it to be perfect. Be perfect. Nope. Okay, fine. Be that way. All right, so I'm going to mute it for just a second while I mix this together. All right, we have that all mixed together. And this is actually looking really light and fluffy. I'm really liking the way this is looking. So light and fluffy all mixed together. And look, it's barely sticking now. This is what I was looking for. This is what I wanted. Okay, that's much better. Okay, now technically, I think from here, you're supposed to add your flour a little bit by a little bit and like incorporate it. So let's see, we have 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. This is 218 grams. Handy dandy scale. And then flour from behind here. I'm going to go ahead and do the 118 grams because then I'll just have the 100 grams left. So 80, 98, 113, 16, 20. 120. Close enough. Close enough. I'll probably still do the 100 here in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and take the rubber spatula and mix this, like fold it. Do you have to fold it? No, you don't have to fold it. But whenever you first turn on a mixer with flour in it, in a bowl, the flour has a tendency to puff up. And so I'm trying to avoid getting flour everywhere by lightly folding it so that when I actually do go to mix it here in just a second, it's not going to pop up everywhere. So that looks like it's fairly incorporated enough. Yeah, that's really dirty. We'll fix it in a minute though. So I'm gonna mute it just a minute so I can mix. Okay. So the first part is mixed in, and then this next part is where we're gonna put in all of the baking powder and stuff like that. So we're gonna do another 100 grams of flour. All right, so 35, 81, 94, 108. Take a little pinch off the top. Take another pinch off the top. 103. Another pinch. 99. Close enough. See? There we go. All right. So we have, and then, we need half a teaspoon of baking soda, which is right here. So an eighth of a teaspoon is 0.6 grams. So we need 4 of those. Looking for half of a teaspoon. 4, 8, yes. So 0.5 times 4 is 2. So about 2.5 grams. So just gonna, there we go. It's going between 2 and 3. Oscillating. I like it. Okay, so we have the baking, baking soda and baking powder, which you're all familiar, baking powder is chunky as heck. So let's see. I would normally put this through a sieve, but I think the sieve is being used, so I'm just gonna rub this rock of baking powder and see if I can get enough to come off. That was 1 gram, 2 grams. So just rubbing. There we go. 3 grams of baking powder. No, it does say half a teaspoon, but it doesn't say how much it weighs. I'm just gonna do just a little bit more, just in case. Because that's what I do. So baking powder, baking soda, and then half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna take a pretty big pinch and drop it. I don't know if that's actually half a teaspoon, but we're gonna go with it. I take the scale out from under here and fold it all together. Go and fold, twist and fold. This is looking really good. It's coming together nicely. All right, this is a really soft dough right now, and I'm loving this. Get a chunk here, so I'm gonna just squish the chunk. Let's see if I can get some of this off here into the scrapula. See, I just make a mess trying to scrape this off. I hate doing this. I love baking, but I hate making a mess. So, go figure, huh? All right. So we got a lot off of here for the moment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mute this again so I can mix. Okay. That part is so I am gonna just take a minute to clean off the beaters with as much of this as we can. And then we're gonna wrap this up in plastic so that it can refrigerate until Thursday when we're gonna actually make cookies out of it. All right, so 2 out of 6 things are done. We're a third of the way there. But the next couple of things shouldn't take too terribly long, hopefully. All right. Do 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 do. So technically, originally, what I was going to do is I was going to take some freeze-dried strawberries and I was going to crush them up and put those into a truffle center, but they didn't get here from Amazon in time. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to chop up some strawberries and we're going to put them in with cream cheese, powdered sugar, and like melted white chocolate, and we're going to make a ganache out of that. So that's going to be our strawberry truffles. So those will be yummy. And then chocolate truffles and other stuff. Technically, for the truffles, what like yeah, I think I was just gonna make a ganache for chocolate, so that one will actually be really easy. I'm just gonna microwave some cream, so that'll go. Like making truffles is actually really really easy, easiest part. Okay, so we have. Hmm, See, I told you I hate trying to scrape these things off. They just get mess. All right, so I'm gonna go rinse these off so that we'll have them here again in a minute. Those are all clean. Yay, we can use it again here in a minute. I'm just gonna take a amount of plastic wrap and lay it on the counter. Then come so I have the plastic wrap on the counter, and then I'm just gonna scrape all the cookie dough out of the bowl into plastic. So this kind of reminds me of like chocolate chip cookie dough before you put the chocolate chips in, which makes sense because it has a lot of the same ingredients, but um, this is for sugar cookies versus for the chocolate chip cookies. And then we're just scraping out the bowl, last bits, bottom of the bowl. I wish I had like firmer spatulas because I like to do these kind of things where like scrape. We have rubber spatulas and flipping spatulas. I'm gonna go to Flipping. Where's Flipping? Flipping's in Arizona, Utah, maybe, Minnesota, Michigan. If you know where Flipping is, I think it's in Michigan or Missouri or something like that. But if you know where Flipping is, let me know. I need to go visit there. I saw somebody make like a TikTok about it, and they're like, Flipping, like their high school mascot needs to be the birds. It's not. I forget what it is, but it's not the birds. It'd be amusing if it was the birds. Okay, so just wrapping this up a bit, and then this, like I said, all of this is gonna go out into the refrigerator. So we'll have it for like the sugar cookie dough. Done. 2 out of 6 done. You guys are doing awesome. All right. So next thing. First thing is we're going to chop up a bunch of strawberries. See how many containers I can get for things today. Okay. So I'm going to chop up a couple of strawberries. I'm going to grab a couple of big strawberries just because they're really beautiful looking and they're nice and red and they have lots of meat, and then that way I don't have to chop up so many. These are pre-washed strawberries. I went and got them from the store yesterday and I washed them. And so now we have pre-washed strawberries. And those are just in a container with like a paper towel on the bottom to absorb the moisture. Chop off the tops. And I am trying to dice these strawberries. You want small strawberry bits. So, I don't know how many times I've done that. Not today, but just in general. Like, here, let's chop things and then put the things in the wrong spots. Okay, so chopping them that way. And then that's still kind of thick, so I am going to make another layer there. And then, like, I'm talking like we want a fairly fine dice here. We don't want big strawberry chunks in the middle of our truffles. We're just going to do little strawberry chunks. And so, fine dice on strawberries. We have part of a strawberry. Then another part of a strawberry. Then fine strawberry bits. Okay. Oh no, the shot up. We can't escape. We've got it. All right. See, that's just one strawberry diced up. Like these are big strawberries. I love them. Okay. Just go through. Nice little slice. This way. And dice. All right. So I need, oh, I don't need, I'm going to do these 2 other strawberries, and we're just dicing up the strawberries. So from here, what we are going to do is we're going to whip up some whipped cream, and not whipped cream. We're going to whip up some cream cheese, and we're going to mix it with powdered sugar and then fold in the strawberries. And then that should make a lovely strawberry center for some truffles. Okay. So, wow, that's the 3 strawberries. That's okay. 2, 3. All right. So that's the 3 strawberries. This is going to be full of strawberries. Oh no. Okay. It's okay. Go, 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 go. Yay, we have the strawberries all chopped. Okay. All right. Strawberries are done. And then we have, oh, so I'm going to go ahead and use whipped cream cheese because then I don't have to whip it. But that's okay. So just, and I have let all of this kind of sit out on the counter for a little bit so that it's nice and warm. So it just goes a little bit easier. About half of this container. Just because. Probably use the whole thing. I don't want to though. Okay. So cream cheese, powdered sugar. Is there an amount of powdered sugar you're supposed to use? Probably. We're just gonna use that much. No. That's all right. So this is just. Oh, we should put some vanilla in here. That would be a good idea. So this is technically making a bit like a cream cheese frosting. Cream cheese, powdered sugar. Mix, 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 mix. Keep them together really nicely. I should probably use the mixer on this. I think it would maybe come together a lot better. I actually think it needs a little bit more powdered sugar. This is just looking very wet, and we want this to be a little bit more more like a frosting, really. So clean that off and go ahead and use the mixer. It'll be okay. Of vanilla and get some more powdered sugar. We have like so many open things of powdered sugar. It's probably a good thing for us to work through them and get rid of them. We have a jar of powdered sugar over there, a jar of powdered sugar up there, an open bag here. And I only have like 10 pounds of powdered sugar out in the pantry. Alright. Good backup amount of powdered sugar. So, pull the mixer again and apparently pull everything with it. Come on. Come on, beaters. We could do it. There we go. All right. Quick mix. I'm going to mute this for a second. So that's all smooth. I'm going to just take this strawberries and just dump it in there. And the spoon we were just using a minute ago, I'm just going to kind of fold it all together so that it's nice, like strawberry filled frosting kind of mix. It's looking pretty anyway. All right, so I have a feeling this is going to be more liquidy than I want. It just looks really liquidy. Okay, that's all right. Worst case scenario is we'll freeze it, and then when we coat it with chocolate, then they'll just be gooey truffles. We'll have to try one when we finish making them. Okay. So, yeah, most of this stuff is pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of time. This almost looks like a parfait or something with the strawberries, and it looks almost like yogurt, but it's not quite. I probably should have put more powdered sugar in it just to kind of stiffen it up a bit, but these are the choices we're making today. Okay, so strawberry caramel's done, or strawberry truffle centers done, caramel truffle centers done, sugar cookie dough done. We just have chocolate, orange, and peanut butter. Okay. So, gorgeous, lovely. Let's try it. It's tasty at least. Got the fresh strawberries, got lots of sugar, it's creamy. We'll see what happens to it when it sits for a while. This didn't sink. I'm going to wash off my hands and the beaters, and then we'll get started on this one. And then going to things. So the chocolate one's going to be the easiest one for us to do next. So let's do that. Bowl. Okay, 1 cup measuring cup. Cream. We've got 1/2 cup of cream. And I'm just going to put this in the microwave for like 10 seconds at a time. While all that's going, pour a bunch of chocolate chips into super in the microwave. Stir the cream a little bit. It's not warm yet. It'll take a little bit to get warm, but you want to make sure to stir it along the way so you don't get any hot spots. All right, so that's going to go for 20 seconds. I'm just getting this set up for the peanut butter. This isn't really warm yet. I did 20 seconds, but it's like warming up. It's a little bit warm, but it's not hot yet. We'll do it for 10 seconds, see how it's like dripping off of here. That's one of the ways you can tell it's warm, is it gets a lot thick. 10 seconds. And it still needs to warm up just a little bit more. Like I can feel it getting warm. It's not there yet. Just turn it around. Like I said, we don't want any hot spots. That's how we get burnt milk. Burnt cream. We don't want burnt cream. Unless you specifically want to do burnt cream. If you want to do burnt cream, then yeah, burn it. We're not trying to burn cream. All right, so we got this warmed up. It could probably be used a little bit warmer, but I'm just gonna go with it. We're gonna pour it, warm cream over chocolate chips. Nope, chocolate chips sticking to the spatula. All right. So from here, you just stir. And this should make a lovely chocolate ganache. That's what we're going for anyway. Mix and stir, mix and stir. Very quiet. And for this part, unless you have like a bigger bowl than I do, you don't want to mix it too roughly because it'll go everywhere. I'm using a little bowl. If you do this in a much bigger bowl, and basically we're just kind of dissolving the chocolate in the cream. So what I'm doing here is I'm just on the bottom, I'm just like kind of smushing it along the bottom. I'm just like pushing and going in a small circle. and getting some all over the counter. Because folding doesn't always do it. That does kind of incorporate it a little bit quicker, a little bit better. So smush, smush, smush. Going through fold and it's looking like something. It's looking like something. I guess we're just trying to dissolve this. And did I get the ratio right? I have no idea. We will see here in a few minutes because that is something that is kind of important to ganache, even though I'm not taking it into account. Like, remember that thing that's kind of important? Nope. No, I don't. Oh, okay. All right. So it's coming together nicely. We're getting there. And you can see the chocolate on top, and it's looking a lot more liquidy versus the chunky that's the chocolate in the liquid cream. And like you can see the chocolate coming to the top, which means that the cream is mixing in. So that's all good stuffs. All right. That's looking nice. We have a nice chocolate ganache. So we use the semi-sweet morsels and just warmed cream. And then this will make a nice chocolate ganache that we will be able to use for some truffle centers. Or technically, you can use this for cakes, you can use it for truffles, you can eat it with a spoon, you can whip it, and it makes a lovely mousse. But okay, I think this is about as mixed as we're going to be able to get it. It looks like smooth and chocolatey. This is kind of what we're looking for. Kind of exactly what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, this is actually a fairly cool feeling. Um, like it's not really warm. Chocolate finger. Okay, nice smooth milk chocolate flavor. I just decided to rinse this bowl out real quick so we can use it for peanut butter. Nope. So I think we're technically supposed to use like a cup of peanut butter, but I'm just gonna get a big scoop and another pretty big scoop. And it looks peanut butter. Peanut buttery? Looks like peanut butter. Close that off. There we go. So peanut butter. It does say something about butter, but let's read this. It's still the cookie recipe. Now, let's just switch it over to truffles. So it's 6 tablespoons unsalted butter, 1 cup of peanut butter. So I'm not sure if that's quite a cup, so we're gonna make it a little bit. So I'm gonna add about half of this just by squeezing half of it off. Then, so I'm gonna mute this for a second so I can mix these together. All right, and if you end up with those chunks of butter in there, it's fine. The chunks are fine. Now this is probably about a quarter of this, so like half a pound. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in, even though the recipe calls for more than this, I think. Let me double check. But this is basically half a pound of powdered sugar. Do I know that it's exactly half a pound? No, I don't know that. I don't think that. I'm guesstimating. Okay, the recipe calls for 2.5 cups, 300 grams. I'm not sure how many cups are in a pound of powdered sugar, so we'll have to look at that. Okay, so I put a little bit too much powdered sugar in here. That's what we're looking at right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put like a splash of cream in here and mix it again. And hopefully it'll come together to be a little bit more creamy. It's a pretty good texture because like you squeeze it and it comes together, but then it like crumbles apart immediately, and that's just too a little too dry. So I'm just gonna add a splash of cream. Just splash of cream and mix together. And hopefully that'll be enough. I don't know if you can see, but it's already like balling up to like stick together. So that's exactly what we want to see. I'm going to use the mixer to get this like really well incorporated and hopefully make it creamy instead of like, do you see how it's kind of granular? We don't want it granular like that. We want it more creamy. You want a creamy bite when you fry it into it. So I'm gonna mute it again so I can mix. So this is looking a lot better. It comes together in a nice dough. This is actually about the texture that I want, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more cream and mix it up a little bit more just to get it a tad bit creamier. All right, so I've cleaned off the beaters, so that makes me happy. Let's see. And it's coming together nicely in a dough. Okay, this is this is perfect. This is perfect. And I could probably roll this into balls today, and then they would be all nice and set up for Thursday. You see how that just comes together nicely into one solid dough once you kind of push it together. The only reason why it was really going apart like that is because the beaters were tearing it apart. But this is exactly what I want. Basically, it just kind of comes together and sticks into a dough by itself. So here's where we are. So we have our peanut butter truffle filling, chocolate ganache, we have a caramel chocolate ganache, we have a strawberry filling. We're doing good. Okay. So this is the bag that the powdered sugar was in. So we're just gonna put this in this bag. And then this is gonna go rest in the fridge too. We're getting close, we're getting close. We got one more. One more and we'll be all done. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our last one is orange. Let me go rinse this out. So I just rinsed this out. If you have people in your life who are allergic to peanuts, it would be better to actually wash it out. I'm going to use the last of the whipped cream cheese. So that's going to be that. And then I have orange extract. So we're gonna let that open. Yep, just a couple of drops of orange extract. Now extracts you have to be careful with because they do get really flavorful really fast. And so I'm just kind of mixing these up together a little bit. It smells really orangey. I love the smell of this. And normally I would put a little bit of orange, like orange zest in here. I'm going to do a little bit more. I smell it really good, but I didn't really taste it. Like this doesn't have like a strong orange flavor. And then just to kind of get the point across, we're going to do a drop of yellow food coloring. And right, a few drops of yellow. And a drop of red. There we go. So, right now we're making orange truffle centers. So that looks still too red. See, I thought it would be a good idea to add extra yellow. Let's put 2 more drops of yellow. And then when we add some powdered sugar to this, it'll lighten up. So there's not a ton of powdered sugar in this one, so we'll just put this in there and see what that leaves us with. So let's see if it turns more orangey and less peachy. That's the idea here anyway. We want orange truffle centers, not peach truffle centers. And the only thing that we're really putting in here to make it orange is the orange extract for that. And that's what we have. So I do think this is going to need, this is just a lot creamier than I'm wanting it to be. This is very similar to what we were doing with the strawberry. And like I said with the strawberry one, you could probably use some more powdered sugar, but I didn't. So we have an even another powdered sugar drop. Like I said, we got to put on the powdered sugar around here. The only problem is this one's fairly clumpy, so I'm gonna take a wet. Here, yeah, my counter's getting really dirty. It's okay. Take a whisk, run it around in here, and try to break this up and make it powdery. Kind of like sifting, but without the sifter. And I'm just gonna pour a bunch of powdered sugar in there. So we still have tons in here. It needs to be loosened up. That needs to be washed, and we need to do something with that. But because we are doing something, we're making truffles, which take a lot of powdered sugar apparently. See, as I mix more powdered sugar into this, it becomes more doughy and less like creamy, which is what I was wanting with the strawberries. But once we put the liquid strawberries in, it was fairly liquidy. So those will be awesome as like a little creamy something. You know, I am making these cookies and truffles for my friends and family. This is what I like to do for holiday gifts, is just like make stuff. And that's just because I like something with a little bit of a personal touch. All right. So we need a little more powdered sugar. Probably a lot more powdered sugar, but we'll do a little bit for now. Why is my phone yelling? Go away. There it goes. So let's see what powder sugar comes out here. It's still not quite enough. So I'm just gonna take this knife, and I'm using the not sharp edge just so I don't like dull the edge. I'm just going around the edges to loosen it up. Powdered sugar like absorbs water out of the air. So if you live in a humid environment, you're likely to end up with this. I moved from a humid environment, but it's still sticking to everything. All right. Let's stir this in and see if we can get to the consistency we actually want. Mix and stir, mix and stir. All right. I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of done with this. So, like, I'm done doing this. If it's done or not is becoming irrelevant. It's all right. So let's try this real quick. This. Ooh, that has a nice creamy mouthfeel. It's got a nice amount of orange flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit more orange extract because it has a lot of orange, like right off the bat, but not any kind of lingering orange flavor. I think adding more liquid in here is going to need to add a little bit more powdered sugar, but it sounds like cheese flavor, orange flavor, but it's got the nice creamy texture from the powdered sugar. This is doing good. Okay, where are we at now? A little bit more orange flavor. And I think I'm actually going to be done adding powdered sugar to this. So it'll be, this is basically what I'm getting done today. Okay. All right. No, there. Orange cream. That has a pretty nice orange flavor to it. It's nice and creamy. So from here, I'm going to put this in another container, and that's going to be good to go. Let's see. So here's a little recap of everything that we just did. We have our orange cream. We have a chocolate caramel ganache, which is setting up nicely. Peanut butter cream filling, chocolate ganache, sugar cookie mix, and then our strawberry filling. Okay. All right. This is good. Don't need that anymore. Alright, so today we made sugar cookies, or sugar cookie dough, in 5 different truffle fillings. On Thursday, I'm going to go ahead and form the cookies, form the truffles, and then also I have some strawberries that I set aside really nicely, so we can dip those in chocolate too. So we're going to have a nice chocolate coating day on Thursday. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to stop by, make sure you hit the subscribe button and list for notifications so that you can see next time we go live. And I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for stopping by.